Alright guys, so welcome back to another Patreon request, and this one comes from, Tom Hibbert. Yeah. And, this one is gonna be interesting, because while not a crossover story, it is, like, an adaptation of a story. I have done, like, cartoon adaptations and whatnot, and although technically you could make the argument that this is a comic book adaptation of another comic book, and something you could honestly see in like an episode of this series or something of that nature. And yeah, as you can see, you're probably thinking, well, this has got to be a crossover right from the title, right? Nope. What this is an adaptation of a classic Batman story called Batman Venom by Denny O'Neil. Now, a lot of you guys would probably not know this story just from the name alone. This was the introduction of not Bane, but Venom. Yeah, a lot of people forget that Venom came first long before Bane did. That's what you call your world building right there. So, Batman, while Denny O'Neil was a master of Batman stories, Venom is not a story that I usually look back on and go, this was good. I mean, the story of Batman being addicted to drugs and having that kind of story and mental effect on it is really cool, and I think there is some cool merit to it, but for the most part, it's just a story I don't normally go back to. And I understand what O'Neil was doing and what he was going through at the time, but at the same time I was like, eh. But anyway, so let's get into the actual story. So this is TMNT Venom. So in this story, what is going on is that the Turtles are out just one night battling the Hand, and this battle with the Hand is particularly nasty. Like, this is a fight that is essentially just complete and total carnage. This is just like absolute insanity going on. And what happens is that there's collateral damage. And by collateral damage, there's this child who gets pinned in a burning building under some rubble, and Leo, during the fight, like, breaks off from the fight with the foot. Did I say hand earlier? Shit, sorry. But yeah, he breaks off his fight with the foot and goes to help these children. But the problem is, like, between the fire and like the debris so heavy he can't move it, he's burning himself until Raphael has to like grab him and like pull him aside and be like, "What are you doing, man? Like, we gotta go. We can't. Like, the kids are gone, man." And Leo's obviously angry, like, no, we can save them. We can do so much. Like, we can save them. And Raphael has to be the sensible one here. And he's like, no, we got to get out of here. They vanish. They go back home. And Leo is obviously angry about the whole situation. Like, he is just like, I had a chance to save those kids. I just wasn't strong enough. And Splinter comes over and is like, that's what's going to happen sometimes. The truth is, your heart was in the right place, but your physical strength was lacking. Not by any fault of yours, but sometimes we just live in a world where we can't save everyone, and as a warrior, this is a lesson I didn't want to teach you. Like, this is a lesson I should have taught you sooner, that this is a war we're fighting with the Foot Clan, and wars have casualties, and you cannot save everyone, and it's a very hard truth that I should have told you sooner. But I'm sorry you had to learn this in such a painful manner, my son. So Leo's broken up about it, and he's like, I'm gonna just go out alone. I need some air. And Mikey makes the comment like, need some air? You pulling some pages out of Raph's book? Shut it, Mikey. So while Leo is out, like, just getting some air and trying to like think and meditate, like, he decides, like, I'll just meditate out in the open. And that's when he comes across this truck moving through the city, like a heavily armored truck, and he's like, that's bad news. That's not a truck full of a armored car for Banks. That's something else. So Leo single-handedly stops them, and he stops them, and he opens the truck, and he discovers that this is a new kind of drug that can enhance strength, speed, and agility. So he's like, and in that moment of weakness, he like takes one of the vials and leaves. He takes it, and he just feels like re-energized. Like, he just feels like stronger and faster, and he's actually like, during training, he's actually like outmaneuvering all of his brothers at once, and even keeping it at pace with Splinter. And the Turtles are like, "Wow, Leo, that's really cool. Like, you've been really training." And Raph is like, "Something feels weird here." And when he goes to talk to Leo about it, Leo actually gets aggressive with him, and Raph, being Raph, fights back with that energy, and the two get into a fight until Mikey, Splinter, and Donnie break it up. And after that, Leo goes out, steals more of the Venom, and starts using it, to be stronger and more, and at this point, like, the rest of the Turtles are like feeling that something's up with Leo, like something has drastically changed in Leo's persona, and it's becoming a problem. Like, it's becoming more and more apparent that something is very incredibly wrong with Leo, and that becomes all the more evident when they're fighting the Foot again, and this time with Bebop and Rocksteady involved. And what happens is he just beats the ever-living shit out of Bebop, just wailing on him. And those wondering, I should have mentioned this earlier, this isn't like a set like continuity we're dealing with. This is just like in a Nebula's own universe of the Ninja Turtles. So this isn't like a version of the Ninja Turtles that's like 2012 or any other kind of timeline. This is just its own thing. Should have mentioned, yeah, professionalism at its best. 6.5 minutes into the video, and I reference, oh yeah, it's just kind of its own thing. So at this point, after Rocksteady grabs Bebop and they hightail it out of there, it becomes apparent, like, Leo, there's something wrong with Leo, and Raph actually breaks it all, breaks it off. He's like, "What the fuck is going on, bro?" And he's like, "Shut your mouth. This is me. Like, this is who I am." And Raph is like, "No, it's not." So Raph and Leo get into a fight, and Leo, due to the Venom drug in him, is like now is just so much physically stronger than Raph. He's actually beating down Raph and just pummeling him until Master Splinter arrives, stuns Leo, and he's just like, "We got to figure out what this is." Donnie figures out this is a drug in his system, and he's got to get it out. The only way to get it out is we cut it cold turkey on him. So Splinter is just ashamed of Leo, and he forbids him from leaving. The rest of the other three can go out on missions and whatnot, but Leo stays here, and he's just dealing with all the the shakes and whatnot, and just cutting cold turkey. It's difficult, but Splinter helps train him. Like, that's the other thing, is that it's not like in the comic where Batman just locks himself in the Batcave for a month. Here, Splinter's like helping him, cope with it, alongside April and Casey, who are also giving a hand to help him, until finally he's broken free of the addiction, and then Leo's back to being leader again. Which, also, who was leading the other three Turtles? It wasn't Raphael, it was actually Donnie who was given leadership for the temporary time with the other three, and Casey was doing more missions now that they were down a turtle, so they were like, "Yeah, Casey, you're gonna have to jump in with us. we're gonna need some help here." So there you go, guys. That is pretty much TMNT Venom, which something actually could work as its own episode, which I feel like it actually is an episode somewhere in the multitudes of TMNT shows, or it could be in the near future. So once again, I'd like to thank Tom Hibbert for this Patreon request, and as always, if you would like to make a Patreon request as well, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, and hit the 4th tier, where you can send me requests for videos to do here on Patreon. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.